Hi, I'm Dave Poles.
And I'm Danielle Lewis.
Welcome to our Community Conversations podcast.
In our series of conversations, we will be spotlighting individuals and organizations who are doing fantastic things in Peoria County.
We'll be highlighting who they are, what they do, where you can find them, and even how you can help. Welcome, everybody, to our continuing series of our Community Conversation podcasts. Our guest today is Brent Oest from Crittenton Centers, and he's going to explain a little bit about the reach of Crittenton Centers and what they do, what the organization is, and hopefully answer your questions and maybe even get you involved a little bit. First of all, could you just give us a brief summary of Crittenton Centers, what they do, their reach, and a little bit about your program?
Absolutely. Crittenton Centers has been around since 1892, serving Peoria, Tazewell, and Woodford counties. We were initially a home for unwed moms back in 1892, and now we protect and nurture the children and families in crisis. So while our mission may have evolved over the years, it's still centered on children and families and protecting and helping them while they're in crisis. So that looks in many different ways, where we've had an adoption program where we did over 4,000 adoptions up until the early 70s to now where we had the first crisis nursery in the state of Illinois. We've adapted to meet the societal needs.
Wonderful. What, in your opinion, would be the core mission of your organization? Perhaps a goal, perhaps something you're working on?
Sure. Honestly, it boils down to protecting and nurturing children and families. That's the one guiding goal, where we've been around now 133 years. Starting out as a home for unwed moms, we've seen that change. Like we've mentioned, those services have varied depending on the societal needs. And ultimately, being able to provide those services, the services that are needed in the community, that's ultimately what makes the ultimate impact.
Wow. We talk about a great cornerstone of our community too. Now, the flip side, as we always ask, what's the biggest challenge to your core mission right now?
For us, we have different programs. We have our crisis nursery program, which is housed in our brick and mortar location in Peoria. But our home visiting program, that's what scours the Tazewell and Woodford County areas. And that's the biggest challenge, letting people know that we are in Tazewell and Woodford County. That's as simple as just hearing our name and starting that conversation. People think, there's a lot of nonprofits that have done great work in the community for a number of years. And it's easy for nonprofits like ours that have been around 130 years to think that everybody's aware. With Caterpillar in our backyard, with the hospitals, people traveling in and out 5 years at a time, we have to constantly reinforce our mission and our message.
Absolutely, Brent. That's really well stated. Now, you talked about, who your program and your organization serves, and I think you alluded to that already. And I couldn't help but think, we talk about service to our community, connections in our community, and I think your organization is phenomenal. So how would somebody access your resources? You've been around a long time. You're omnipresent, and I think most people have heard of Crittenton Centers. I know I have, and this is very informative to me, all the things you do. So,
yeah,
how does somebody access your resources?
Well, our website is a great first step, CrittentonCenters.org. There is an S at the end of center.
Okay.
So that's a great way to access our services and our need, just to find out a little bit about us. And also you can call us at 309-674-0105. We do have a pretty active social media account. We'd love for people to kind of follow us there. We have different updates there than we have on our website, obviously, but it gives you a well-rounded view of what we do and how we approach our service to our clients.
Absolutely. If you were to say your biggest need right now, how can we support you?
Well, any nonprofit, you always need the financial donations, but honestly, it's really about letting people know about us. We love hosting tours at Crittenton.
Right.
That could be a partnership within our programs, possibly. It could be somebody interested in getting involved as a volunteer in the organization, or just simply learning more about it. Speaking engagements, We love to tell our story. I've been fortunate to be invited over into Woodford County for a couple speaking engagements. So it's really just letting people know.
Would it be possible, let's say, for a business to do a day where they come in and meet and then certainly get a tour?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I love collaboration, and especially I don't no one person has all the answers, and I don't want to limit somebody's thinking. So I
Sure.
encourage conversation. I When I meet with new people, I give them a little breakdown of what we
Yeah.
have, but I say, well, what do you think? Do you have an idea? Or if you come up with
Yeah.
an idea, let me know. Because ultimately, it's what makes sense if you're trying to get a business to participate in our services or in our programs, you've got to be able to provide that ability.
Right. Full disclosure, we've toured this great facility and program. And I
Exactly.
remember walking through and just in awe of the reach, I think, of Crittenton Centers and what they do. You're right. I mean, going back to the history most people have heard about it, 130 plus years. I mean, but the mission's bigger than that. So, how about an example of something that you've done that's made a difference in your service community?
Oh, I like to share. There's a couple quick stories I like
I'd
to
love them.
share.
Yeah.
We have our supply drive, formerly known as Fill the Crib. It is now known as Crittenden's Community Care Drive. The focus of that program is to provide basic need items primarily for the families that we serve. For context, last year we handed out over 85,000 diapers,
Wow.
supplemental diapers. So each child can get 40 per month. That wasn't the full need, that was supplemental. We handed
Okay.
out 1,800 packages of wipes and over 900 cans of formula, and that didn't even begin to touch the need. I've been in nonprofits for a long time and involved with them. I didn't understand or know the full depth of our services at Crittenden until I got here. So in my year and a half at Crittenden, I've kind of honed my message and found what resonated with me has been resonating with other people. Our crisis nursery was the first crisis nursery in Illinois in 1980. Now there's 8 crisis nurseries across the state. So I like sharing that. But another story that we have is, say a mom, just take for example a mom who, she works, say she's at a retail job. She has a babysitter. Sometimes babysitters can be a little unreliable, shall we say. She's had her babysitters bailed on her twice this month. Now she's got a flat tire, a literal emergency.
Right.
She doesn't get to work today. She might not have a job tomorrow. She may not be able to feed her kids next week. Last year, I had horrible car problems. It cost me money. I worked from home. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
That's not a crisis for me. That
Right.
was a
Right.
crisis for that individual. We don't define crisis. That is so important for us to share. Everybody has crisis. It just looks different.
I
Um,
love that. We don't define crisis. Yeah.
yeah, asking for help takes strength. We're not income based. I've had professional connections reach out to me and ask me about some of our services.
Sure.
It's not an income based service. And that's something asking for help is a sign of strength, even though oftentimes
Yeah.
it feels like a weakness.
Brent, I enjoyed the time we met and told us a ton. And I got to be honest, I've learned a lot about your mission that I didn't know.
Yeah.
How can we connect you?
Oh, well, honestly, it's really telling friends,
Okay.
telling friends about us. It's like, what's Crittenton Centers? We still get that, obviously. What's Crittenton Centers? And then that gives us a chance, that really ignites the passion again to tell the mission again. Because if people don't know who we are, it gives us a chance to hone into that passion again to explain it, because so many people do understand what we do, but we need to approach every conversation with the same passion, um, with the community or those that we talk
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. I
You know
like
that
the way you
that
redefined the idea of crisis. I've learned
Yes,
that too, that that's not the word we use. It's simply opportunity. And redefining opportunity is perhaps a better way to look at it. So, wow.
exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, sharing, telling the story, and when you get folks in the door at Crittenton, that's really the chance to engage conversation. A lot of our folks are in the home visiting program, like I mentioned, in Tazewell and Woodford County. So it's interesting to be able to get everybody under the one umbrella, under one core driver, I guess you could say.
Okay. That's outstanding. So, Brent, where are you located? How do we reach you? How do we get in there? And what can we bring you?
Our address, we're located downtown Peoria, 442 West John H. Gwynn Jr. Avenue, about a quarter of a mile down from the Peoria Civic Center. And CrittentonCenters.org is our website. And, if you reach out to us or there's a contact us page on our website, that'll come to me. And then I'll reach out to you. And I'd love to schedule a tour or a time to meet and just talk about what Crittenden does.
Outstanding. Brent Oest, again, is the marketing and development coordinator at Crittenton Centers. He is a voice that wants to really push the idea of service to our community, regardless of your situation, income, or whatever. It's been around for a while. We know you're going to be around for a while. We want to connect. And Brent, we can't thank you enough. Please reach out to Brent and any of his colleagues getting into Crittenton Center, how you can support it, how you can tour it. And let's be honest, it makes our community better. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.